this is a little off topic here, but I need to apologize to our audience for our absurdly bad impressions of Gilbert Gottfried from a couple of episodes ago.
I was not offended by that.
Mine was not good.
Yours was
and then
all right.
Mentals, oh my God.
Oh, I liked
that.
Mentals.
Was absolutely the most cringe thing
it was cringy,
I've
but
ever
it was,
done.
I appreciated
it.
And
I have done a lot of cringy stuff.
Welcome once again to the Dirt or Die Porsche podcast. My name is Duane. I'm here with JP as always. JP, hello.
Well, hello, Duane Wik. Nice to see you, buddy.
Nice to see you too. And we're also blessed.
Wait, hold on.
Bye.
I just want to say, you're very coordinated tonight.
Oh, thank you. You know, this is a tough hat to match, quite honestly. It's a weird blue.
Right.
I got this at the Good Wolf, which is where you have your car show at.
Deus Ex Machina.
Is it? Yeah.
Made that shirt, and they were the originators of the original Luftkult
Right.
logo and brand. So it would make sense that those would go together.
It works both on a color level,
yeah,
and a branding level, which is I'm usually not about that, but today I
Well,
am. And it works in
look at you.
thickness because I match by thickness usually.
Are you just trying to be sharp because we have fancy guests?
We
Is
are.
that what's going on?
Our fancy guest tonight is Mental Ward. No, not really, but Mental Ward is here to help us do the keyboards as always, and we want to thank him.
I think
obviously.
he's hiding his gut. That's what I heard.
He was a little embarrassed about his last time I put him on Instagram without him knowing. But really, we do have a special guest, JP. I'm very excited because the one, the only Adam Kern is with us tonight from Chicago,
Southside.
Deep Dish Pizza,
No,
home of the Blackhawks.
No.
Uh-oh.
Deep dish pizza's for tourists, bro.
Oh,
here we go.
We're throwing it down.
Thank you
right
so
out of the
much,
gate.
because I do believe that deep dish pizza is just undercooked lasagna.
No.
What's wrong with that? That sounds pretty good.
Home of the
Well,
Bulls.
All those things sound good to me.
I'm a big Bulls fan in the last couple of years, and my guy Dalen Terry from Arizona is their latest recruit.
I'll take your
He's
word.
the rookie.
Take your word for that.
Yeah, and AC, Alex Caruso, the Caruso. Come on, you're a fellow. So
Dude, I dropped out on. I spend all my time with cars now.
there you go.
You know.
If you don't know Adam, if you've never met him in person, you don't realize that he's like, how tall are you? Like 6'5"
Almost
or
6'3".
oh, okay.
Not quite at your standings.
But he's a big guy, and he played a lot of basketball back in the day. Still does
you
actually.
pick
so,
up in leagues and shit.
Yeah.
Are the two of you? Is there some kind of club for tall Porsche drivers, air-cooled Porsche drivers that you guys are a part of? Or
You get a little respect. You see someone like Lee Keen. There's an unspoken thing between us guys like that.
That's right. Surprisingly, Adam's car, which is probably one of the more famous cars within our little dorky Porsche community, is 86. Is it maroon? What's the base
It is
color?
garnet red.
Garnet red.
A.K.A. don't call it brown.
I didn't call it brown.
That's when people say that, but whatever.
And then it has,
It's a
of course,
sweet color for something that looks like kind of brown. Huh?
Well,
that was like an offhanded compliment.
Well, I put two and two together and learned out at some point when it was resprayed, it's not quite garnet red. Because I've been around this summer, I've been around some true garnet red cars, namely is 1928, and it is a vibrant red. There's just something lacking in the way that this was resprayed at some point in its history, but it'll remain that way for a long time.
It adds to the charm, though, because it is more or less an outlaw, dare we say it. Like, I know that word's a little bit overused now, but
yeah.
It's rolling on gold campies, and you've got a custom grill, front bumper, and Mental is a TV set. No, that's not the signal I'm looking for.
Big screen.
But the most interesting thing, I think, is your choice of graphic on the side, which is like a homage to
It is an
80s skateboards.
homage
which-
to Nadas Kappas, who was the coolest street skater back in the day.
Right.
He had the Panther, and I came up with the idea. I was lucky enough to find the artist Jordan, who worked with us on some Checked It Out stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and he drew it and made all the magic happen.
I love that. And everywhere you go, I think, just being around the car seems to draw people, and they love to see that.
Well,
Or were you a skater, or were you
Oh, yeah.
a BMX guy? Okay.
You know what? Actually, I raced BMX in Vegas and like when I was 11 years old.
No way.
Yeah, my cousins out here were into that. But just talking about the graphics, a funny thing happened today when I was at SEMA leaving the parking garage.
Okay.
This lady, nice as can be, she's like, "Oh, cool car." She's like, "Is that Ed Hardy?" I was like, "Oh my fucking god, that is the worst shit. That is the worst thing I ever heard." Oh shit.
I mean, you know, and JP, you know, you don't have to change your wardrobe because of that comment. By the way,
well, I mean, I was going to wear my affliction tonight in honor of the bespoke tattoo car. Apparently,
do we have that picture?
That's an old picture.
Well, that's not me driving either.
Well, whatever. I mean, you're lucky you got a picture at all. This is not a very technical crew right here. Yeah, that's your bumpers are matched now, right? Or
no, I did that test sample of beige gray from a late 60s 911, and my intent is to paint both bumpers at some point that color. If I still like that idea by the time I do paint them, I'll be shocked. But someday maybe that might happen.
Go to the low end garage.
I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not Jamie
All
from
right.
Joe Rogan. Okay. Yeah. No. Look, I like the Campanolos. I've got a set on my car as well. Maybe one day my car will be running. But
mine actually have a funny story to them though, because they're they're Ferrari gold. So Jonathan from Group 4 had them powder coated during the pandemic, and he didn't do it through his normal guy. So it was not the shade of gold that they usually do. So mine are a bit more darker, which worked out really well. I think, with the graphics, it complements.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks really good with the Garnett. Kevin Garnett.
KG.
Yep.
See, now that's basketball information I know.
Yeah, you got to go back to the 90s, the true era of
good
NBA.
stuff when Stefan and KG.
There you go.
When they stole was it the 96 champion from or was it 98 from
Seattle
from the Sonics?
Super
Jordan won on Father's
Did you
Day.
mispronounce the Oklahoma City Thunder?
And look what happened to the Sonics.
Yeah, they got stolen right after that. Yeah.
No, that would have been 96. That would have been the 72 and 10 season.
Yeah, I met Michael Jordan. I was a busboy at a restaurant, and I had to clean up his table. He was a swell fella. Whatever. What a stupid story.
Well, at least you'd have to interact with Pippen. You might not have tipped.
I don't know. He may have been there. I don't know basketball people.
It was like Charlie Murphy slapped you across the face and like left a ring imprint on your forehead that said 7-time world champion.
I've got a lot of
there was
history
only 3 then.
with NBA players because I've got a lot of history in the food services industries.
Kemp.
Back in the day in
Sean
Seattle, Kemp. I was a late night graveyard room service server at a fancy hotel that got all the NBA teams when they came to town to play the Sonics. So, it was me and like 3 other guys in the whole hotel. It's 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, 5 in the morning, or whatever. I'd have my stupid little cart with all the whatever. These guys would order. One guy would order all this food, like carafes of grapefruit juice and 4 sandwiches, and just the amount of calories these guys could intake. And you would the elevator door would open, and here I am, not in the main elevator bay, but like in the
service
elevator bay, right? So you got to like. If you're walking around a hotel, you're down the halls, you find that one unmarked door and you go in there and it's all like brightly fluorescently lit and it's kind of gungy and there's the service
all the
elevator
employees
in there.
Are smoking weed in there.
Yeah. Well, apparently that's where NBA guys really like to bang hookers. That was the takeaway from that.
How dare you? That was his significant other. For that hour.
Maybe. I don't know. I didn't check IDs, but that happened.
You got your ID?
So often. Like every time a team was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to kick out, these crack hoes out of it. It was always terrible. But yeah, so I'm not a big basketball.
Kick them out of there and right into your apartment a little bit later. Am I right?
Well, the thing the problem was, I was like, come on, honey, you got to make the money. Hurry up. Let's move this along. I was waiting for my cash. Wow. See, that was a joke about me being a pimp.
I got it. I got it. Yeah.
Which I was not.
Jonathan at Group 4 is awesome, by the way. Like, I've had a few interactions with him, and
he's a pimp. That's weird.
He's a pimp in terms of like pimping out awesome.
Well, I'm a
wheels.
repeat customer. I have a set of his Steelies.
Oh, you
sitting
do?
in my garage waiting to go
The
on
aluminum Steelies.
Yeah, in gold, waiting to go on the
Yeah, that's
86
right.
once it makes it return home, which
I
who knows when that's going to happen.
I disagree with that style choice, but I haven't seen it on the car yet. So
Well, I
see how
got
it
the
goes.
sticky rubber on them, so I'm pretty much just going to be using them for racing.
that'll look cool. The sticky rubber on the Steelies
And they're
will look
light.
cool. Yeah.
Are
We
the
like
aluminum
light.
Steelies, aren't they kind of heavy?
No.
So they're like an early Steely,
Yeah.
but made out of aluminum. That's the trick. Is like
Aluminium.
he gave me the weight
Aluminium,
on them, and
yeah.
it was seriously like I don't
12
know.
pounds per wheel or something.
Are they really?
It was
they're
definitely
crazy
like-
light.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking
Definitely
about
under
going
18.
that route on my back date, and you were like, no.
That's because I just don't care for Steelies on anything but a back date. So actually, that would have worked. Not a back date, but like a 912. I like them on a 912 and like a 60 short wheelbase.
the vibe you're talking about. With my stupid 964 skirts, they might look a little.
That's
out of
why
place,
I think
but
the skirts
I don't-
and,
you know what?
and the bumper.
they're
but-
they're for a purpose, man.
But don't let me sway you. I'm just. I
And
mean,
what purpose is
I
that?
have
Going
a very
fast.
unique
The
style, which is always
964
correct.
rockers are for going fast. How's
no, the Steelies.
Just
The
the Steelies,
Steelies
okay.
might not look right on an
Yeah.
80s and 90s looking car.
Are you a big track guy? Like, do you? How many times a year do you go to the track?
Autocross and DE. I'm
Okay.
actually the Porsche Club Chicago's autocross chair.
Oh, nice.
So yeah,
What's the PCA like in Chicago?
we have a lot of shit going on.
Oh, yeah?
We have stuff almost
Okay.
every weekend.
do tell. No.
Yeah, no, I mean we
Drop
I
names.
do 5 autocrosses a year with the club,
Mhm.
and then we have the D's, and we've had Road America for Labor Day and Labor Day and Memorial Day weekend since like 5-6 decades.
Right.
So for being PCA, and I know all the stigma that comes with it, we do cool stuff.
And there's a surrounding area, let's say, Chicago within like a 25 or maybe 50 mile radius. How many? I mean, you have like pretty good turnouts for all the events. It seems like that'd be a mecca.
I mean,
of the
we are
Midwest,
like
right?
with everyone's co-members or whatever they call it. I think it's damn near 3,000 some members,
Mhm.
but maybe to the point you were making, it is 100, 200 folks who are kind of regulars, right?
Gotcha.
Who do make all the events, but everyone kind of has their own disciplines that do the time, speed, distance rallies, autocross, DE, Concours. I'm actually a Concours judge too, believe it or not.
Nice.
And I like Q-tipping a little bit.
Yeah.
But
I mean, you have to. That's what separates like two really good cars is like who's cleaner. You went to Luft this year. We
Of
saw you
course.
there, and actually,
Yes.
did I? We met up prior, but then we drove out separately
Yeah.
because you wanted to go a day earlier. But
Well, yeah.
yeah. Did you have a good time?
My first lift was 4, being in the same venue, right? But this one, I feel like there was this like back to basics sort of vibe. And it's hard to gauge because I really looked through everything with rose-colored glasses then. I didn't have an air-cooled car in 2017. But I think this
Hold
one
on.
was
Had
as
you
good
ever
or
had
better.
one before that?
No.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Sorry.
started off with my 996 cab with a tip.
Okay. All right.
So talk about, the lowest of the low, maybe, right?
Yes. No.
because of the Tiptronic,
No,
not because
no.
of the roof. The Tiptronic kills it. Sorry.
I mean, I didn't know any Porsche people. I didn't know what to buy.
Yeah.
My father was a GM muscle car guy, and you know what they say in the muscle car world: when the top goes down, the price goes up.
Mhm.
Not in the Porsche world.
It goes
right?
up when at first purchase, like the retail
Yeah.
price is higher.
Yeah, and that's it.
Yeah.
But it's next month, or actually this month, November, it'll be 10 years since I bought my first Pcar, and here I am. Thankfully,
And
it's-
you drove that car from Chicago
I'm
to
at
Idaho. You were going to go on the Overcrest rally.
Yep.
Some stuff happened. Maybe we'll get into that in a bit.
Yeah,
You
Stuff
made it to
happens.
Vegas. You limped the car to Vegas
on 3 brakes.
on
yeah.
3 brake calibers, and then you drove it to LA. You drove it back.
Well, we had brakes when we went to LA. Let's
Yeah,
get
yeah.
that clear.
Thanks to God. Shout out to God.
Thanks to you,
Nice. Nice.
Yeah,
you and Eric from PMB.
yeah, that's true.
Team effort.
But point is, you drive the car proper, like all.
Well,
over
this
on
year, I
rallies.
mean, I logged in 11,000 miles already.
that's awesome.
So it just, The car
I might
sat
have 1100 this year.
for many years under previous ownership. So now it's time. She
when
wants
you're
to play.
back in Chicago in these intervals, what do you do not having a 911? Doesn't it drive you nuts?
Oh, I have a 996 in my garage.
The Cabrio tip, you still have that?
No, I have. I bought 4 or 5 years ago. I bought a C2, a 2000.
Okay.
And I could call it my rally project. It has a JRZ kit on it. It's a little lifted. Start off doing a safari thing, but then I was like, let's go lower and tighten it up. I take it ice racing and winter autocross at Road America.
What's ice? What is ice?
Oh,
Like
it's
Ice
crazy.
Lake, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh, dude, that's so awesome.
It's really
is
cool
awesome. I
as
would
long
love
as
to
you
see
got a
that.
lot of powder.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It is a lot of fun, and it is freaky when you're standing out there and you're
Right.
like, oh shit. But they check it and make sure you got a foot, or else they don't do the event.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I could certainly see the appeal of having a water pumper in Chicago during the summer, because I know it gets hot here in Las Vegas, but we don't have the humidity that you guys have. So I
Yeah.
assume the AC works on your
Or the rampant crime.
996. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it does. Yep. Yeah.
I mean, you just go up to the north end of Las Vegas, and I'm sure there's
I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding.
some crime that goes
Per capita, it's probably
per capita.
worse.
Yeah, it might be in there.
Well, I will have my 987 Cayman back soon too.
Oh, nice. Okay.
That I blew up 2 years ago. So I'm looking forward to bringing that back to life.
I want to talk about.
Well, hold on. Let's go ahead and take a quick break
Okay.
and talk about what are you going to sting before, or what are we going to?
all the podcast, the competition.
Let's ish talk.
We're gonna talk some
Cool
ish about our competition.
And PcarTalk and
Aaron, we're coming for you,
all
buddy.
you people. All right, right after this.
Yep.
If you don't subscribe to Bid Nerds on YouTube right now, I'm going to shoot this 997. If you said, wait, that's a 996, you're a nerd. So subscribe to the new YouTube channel, Bid Nerds, your daily nerd out on the most interesting cars of the day on all the automotive enthusiast auction websites. This is the perfect car. I'm going to bid 31.
I'm going to say $35,000, JP.
Bid Nerds every Monday through Friday morning on YouTube.
Get those nerds! Nerds!
Hey, welcome back to Do or Die, everyone. Have you hit the subscribe, like, or notification button yet? If you haven't, do so now. We love that the channel's growing. It's getting bigger.
We have six people.
Yeah,
have seen
exactly.
It now.
That's
total.
like that's
That's not
double
bad.
digit expansion.
That's one more than what's in this room right now. If you
It's
include
true.
Gilbert,
It's
the
true.
parakeet.
We know some people are watching the show, but they haven't subscribed yet. So we need
Oh,
you
that's
guys
not
need to
right.
get on that. I don't know. Maybe look. We've got a guest today. We've got Adam
do.
Kern from Checked It Out Chicago. Again,
Yeah.
thanks for hanging out with us, Adam.
Yeah.
Before the break, we were talking about some of the other podcasts that you've been on. You've kind of done the Porsche podcast rounds, and I feel like because we're clearly the best show
By far.
that this is a good opportunity to ish all over our competition.
The
if
most
you could even call it
well-oiled of the podcasts. I should
that.
say.
Most liquored up, I think,
Yeah,
is what you.
for sure.
Yeah, that's what you're getting at. We are the drunkest Porsche podcast on the YouTube machine.
Do you
uh,
like drinking?
Yeah, Adam.
You'll love
so
our podcast.
what other podcasts have you been on? Have you
So,
been on
First
Go
one I did was Overcrest.
ahead. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a funny story. We did it in Kris and Jake's studio after driving about.
Which one of those two guys grabbed your butt first? Because they're kind of handsy. That's
Really?
been my personal
They,
experience.
Man.
they frisk you
Little
when
handsy.
you come into the studio. They're like, "You got any weapons on you? Anything that'll poke me?"
You know what?
Is
You know
that
what?
the excuse they're using now? Because it was just right up there.
Was it?
Yeah. like,
Rubber glove style.
yeah,
Okay.
So-
I know Chris did like pat me on the back after a lift, a couple Sundays ago, and I was like, "Wow, that's really seems out of character."
Mm.
Yeah.
PDA from Mr. Klewell.
He's not a real touchy-feely
no,
guy.
No, I wouldn't
because
imagine.
he hates people. No, just kidding. Just kidding, Chris. He's not going to watch this. I
ran-
love that podcast. I actually just got merch from him. But so
Cool.
you went on a
So, yeah, that was my first time doing any kind of show, and we drove 3-4 hours from Milwaukee to their studio. And if you drive with Chris, you're going from point A to point B.
no stops.
And fuck your ideas of lunch or eating or drinking.
He's
we
very practical.
We had
Like,
all the ladies in tow because we were going to a big
And
event
practical.
in Twin Cities. And
Wait, he did this with ladies in And
I had my partner Brooke with me, and some other people did, had their significant others along. And
was she cussing you out? She's like, when is this guy
when
gonna
the hell
stop?
are we going to eat? You know what? Actually, it was such a thing that now we refer to it as being clueled.
Was there like a bucket in the car? Was there like no
Chum bucket.
relief available? He wasn't going to stop at
Well,
rest
we
stops
stopped
or
one
anything?
time at gas at like a really lowbrow, old school gas station that had like no snacks.
The owner was wearing overalls.
It was
and
probably
nothing
they
else.
probably wanted to pump our gas for us. It was
Yeah.
Is that why Jake wears
Birkenstock.
Birkenstocks? Because I really had a lot of respect for those guys, and then I was like, "Ugh,
Yeah, the Birken.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone hates the Birkenstocks.
that's just
So,
not right.
it's
Yeah.
not.
That's not right, bro."
Well, as Perry Farrell said, when he threw a Birkenstock, I'd say this guy doesn't understand fashion. If you recall that from the '90s, but
I do
anyway,
not recall that from the '90s, but
That was a deep
that is
cut.
a correct. That is the correct
assessment.
take. Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, we should send those guys a couple of bucks
Or
so they can
basket,
buy
fruit
some
basket.
Nikes
Just
or
to kinda-
something.
yeah.
That's what
Some
we should do.
Tevas.
We should get a case of shoes somewhere.
That would be
I'll send
hilarious.
him one of my size 14 Converse. He can cut it in half and
And have
Use it
two
for
actual
Oh
shoes.
man,
No, I think that
'Cause he
we
does-
seriously
he
need
has
to do
tiny
this.
hobbit feet.
We
let's
need
be real.
okay, guys. If everybody
Love
who's
you, Jake.
watching this show needs to donate to the Dirt or Die podcast a pair of shoes, brand new shoes. I don't
Send-
care what they are.
Send us
Send them to the
shoes
Container
and
Park,
Jerry
the
Maguire
Dirt or Die
tapes.
Studio at 2090 Container Park on Fremont Avenue in Las Vegas. Just figure it out. Look up the Container Park and send them here. We'll take the shoes once we get all the shoes. Like boxes.
Yeah.
I want a crate. I want
Container.
a pallet.
Speaking
Hey,
of
if you're
Container
giving
Container.
if you're giving away your Yeezys, send them over here, right?
Oh yeah, well yeah, I'll pick.
So
some of those and find
I was at one of Adam's events,
Mhm.
pop up after Luft Indy,
Yep.
which was really really cool. Actually, I think I enjoyed that show more than Luft in Indy. It was awesome.
Well, thank
Yeah.
you.
Really nice setup, and Jake was there, had his car, and I was standing there, and a group of kids had wandered off the street, just walking around looking at the different cars. So I said, "Hey, you guys want to get in this car?" And they're like, "Yeah." So I let like 3 kids just randomly get in Jake's car.
into Jake's car.
Into Jake's car. Like I volunteered it
Damn.
like it was my Porsche. And then he came over and he was really cool about it. But so
And then after the kids left, he
he
just
was like, if you ever do that again, I'll shank you right in the it's right in the
Weird,
heart.
We haven't gotten any calls or emails or anything from Jake. I didn't know why. Now,
No, he's
Oh,
cool. And
man.
then had a good
Yeah.
conversation with Chris, and actually saw Chris at Luft as well.
Mhm.
And he had his Mercedes that he drove all over God's green earth.
Yep.
And yeah.
Very
so you
cool
did the
car.
podcast with those guys.
Yeah,
And then
so-
you've also done.
So it was funny. Everyone came to the studio, a little party. Finally, the ladies got to eat, and then it was clear it out, and we did the show promoting Checked It Out, 20 minutes or whatever. So that was my first podcast experience.
quickly tell us what Checked It Out is for us West Coast ignoramuses.
Well, Checked It Out is primarily the reason why I guess I'm here today. It's because of doing this event in the city of Chicago proper, not the suburbs or whatever.
It's a true urban show. It's like in the
That was
heart of
the
the
whole-
city.
That was the whole deal. People all the time want Porsche owners. Why can't we have anything in the city? Why can't we do this? Why can't we do that? And there was a real need there. And I'm a
Well,
city resident.
usually it's at a Walmart in like suburbia or something, or like some ugly parking lot, which I think you and JP have that in common. Like he's brought a really cool car show to Vegas
yeah,
in the heart of the arts district,
yeah. Setting
which
is
makes a huge difference. So
setting
you've done
is
the
everything
same.
for sure.
Now, did
Yeah.
Luft inspire you at all?
Yeah, no, it totally happened right after I went to Lift 4.
Okay.
So Karsten Aufgebauer is Checked It Out on Instagram. I wish I could find whose page he made a comment on, but he's like, after Lift 4, he's like, there should be an outlaw event in Chicago, outlaw 9/11 event. And I was like thinking to myself, well, I don't have an air cooled, but I would totally support this. I would volunteer, whatever. And that kind of stuck with me. And then finally one day I said to him, like, dude, let's just do a Porsche event.
Yeah.
Patrick and them started with 50 cars at Deus, as you're alluding to earlier. And, who knows what could happen with us. Just
Mhm.
build it and they will come.
What was
right?
that first show like? I mean, was it
We had 70 cars.
70?
Yeah.
That's a
Closed-
great turnout.
a little street down, and had some help with we have a friend who owns a brewery, so we had part of his establishment, and then this area, actually we're in box shops right now, or box containers, but there's this place called the box shops, which is a miniature setup like this. So that was part of our event, and that was the first time I met Kris Klewell. The boys had Chris Runge with too. And it was like,
that guy is unreal.
And then the highlight of the show was,
Chris, come on our podcast.
The highlight of the show too was having Jay Sotil there with 901 number 5. We
the red, it's like converted. Yeah, I met him at your pop-up.
Cool. It looks like a mid-year wide body car.
It just looks like
2.7.
Very pedestrian, and it's literally like one of the first 911s ever made. Yeah, it's crazy.
But what's number 5 about it is pretty much just the frame. So
everything else has been kind of changed over the years.
It's $1 million frame.
What was the result from the last event, and when is it, by the way?
So the last event was late August. We had 400 cars, about 3,000 people.
That's awesome.
It was a wild scene, and there was just cars.
That sounds bigger than Luft 7 in Indianapolis.
Yeah, that's interesting because you were inspired by this event. You and the gentleman who is named after
Carson.
Carson. You created this event, and then now it's bigger. I mean, that's
let's not let's slow down here.
But I mean, in terms of like turnout, and they do moderate, so they. Yeah.
Well, it's easier for us because we are open to all Porsches. If there's an interesting Pano, or a Macan or whatever, we let them in.
Right.
So
you're not that snobby.
So you're open to water pumpers as well.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Because
I felt for myself owning water cooled cars at the time that that's kind of be weird if I didn't, right?
Yeah.
And plus we try to foster a very inclusive vibe. We want people of all kinds, and we really pride ourselves on being like a party, like a Chicago street fest. Just. It's not really about the cars. It's about the hang. It's about the fun, the festivities, the art and food. And, we try to be much more than that car show, which is a word I don't like to use, that SHO word.
Hallelujah.
Is there an admission fee, or is it just wide open?
It is totally free and open to the public. If you register your car, you do pay a fee, but we bury you in swag. So all the sponsors give stuff. We always give everyone a T-shirt and a lanyard. So it's you're getting your money's worth if you come hang with us.
Nice.
That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I think every look, we do our little monthly show here, but like every city, I believe there's the same percentage of just about any city anywhere when it comes to whatever the population size is. It's 1 or 2% are car enthusiasts. And then you carve out of that all the subcategories, whether it's Porsche people or kids that like JDM cars or whatever. But I got to think that Chicago, being such a big DMA, it's not going to be as big a market as something like LA. And that's why.
But who is?
Right, exactly. That's why Luftgekühlt is such a big deal when it's in Southern California, because that's where all of these cars are. And it's easier for them to survive there. The Midwest and the East Coast, let's face it, some of these old Porsches, I mean, you live in an area that is not kind to cars.
Do you know what?
Ungalvanized ones.
At the same time, though, in terms of running an event, I would hate to be in the Southern California event space because there's a lot of noise, a lot of competition. How do you, how do you distinguish yourself? You know what I mean?
Yeah, you got to be like Luft. That's the only way. I mean, otherwise you're just a cars and coffee sort of. I mean, there's a Malibu cars and coffee.
I don't know.
I
don't know if that's the case though. I mean, I think the thing is though, like with LA, the scene is there's enough people and the weather's so good that almost if you do a Porsche event, you're gonna get hundreds of people showing up.
Yeah.
As long as it's not at the same time as another one, and even then. A lot of times there's just enough people and cars to go around.
But what I have heard though from some other folks who run other events out that way is sponsorship though can be a challenge because they want to, they're spending their dollars with Lyft, and it's, everyone has connection with the same companies, right?
Yeah.
So,
Well, is that how you fund your show? Is it all sponsors?
well, pretty much. I mean,
Okay.
that's the majority of
Yeah.
where all the support comes from. Yeah.
All right. Well, I want to get back to the ish talking. So we've
Yeah.
talked about,
OverCrest.
Jake's odd choice of footwear.
Mhm.
What are some of the other ones?
So number two.
Number two.
would
Okay, we're going
be
in order.
Mike and Aaron, PcarTalk. We
Yes.
were fortunate to have them guys with us at Check 19, and they did some good content from the show. I said show. Oh my God, the event. I prefer event.
How dare you?
Fair, right.
So they stay the next day, and then we recorded with them at Midwest Performance Cars. Me, Andy, who's the vice president of the event with me, and it was probably the first time. Well, yeah, it definitely was the first time we did video. So we did a good hour, and it was a good talk. We talked about the Porsche community, all the people we know. Got into the history of why the event came about, even though technically that was the second year. But I might as well mention that, we started from 70 cars, and then year 2 we were at 250.
Wow.
And
That's a
had
big
some
jump.
serious
Yeah.
sponsors, and that was the first time we hooked up with Porsche Cars North America.
Okay.
Gave us support, and had one of the local dealers involved in Appleton, which is a classic dealer, just like you guys have here with Gaudin.
Yep.
So yeah, that was huge for us.
PcarTalk does a lot of water pumpers. So oftentimes they'll review the more modern cars,
Yeah.
which I'm not particularly into, but
They also discuss race
race stuff. Yeah.
topics, correct? Is that yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So what's weird about those guys?
Give us the dirt.
I've met both of them, but
yeah, I
haven't
met 'em too. We met 'em at
They're kind of
Newcomb.
quiet.
We met him at Newcomb's
I don't know.
Ranch.
I don't have enough information about them to make fun of them.
Give us the dirt.
Well, Mike definitely leads the program, right? Aaron's kind of an Ed McMahon type almost, right?
That's
But
how
you
I
guys-
feel.
the sidekick.
You guys are
Aaron-
not. You guys are more equal, it seems here.
Yeah, but some of us are more equal than others.
I agree.
I,
I'm
I
sorry
feel, I
about
feel
that,
like the Ed
Duane,
McMahon
yeah.
of the do or die. So Aaron, I'm with you, buddy.
You need to grunt more.
Yeah.
And laugh.
What does he say? What's his
I can't
catchphrase?
remember. I'm old
Oh,
enough,
man.
but I should know.
You are old
but,
enough.
Yeah, no,
Jesus.
totally. No, those guys are great. What's that?
Was it?
that
What was
Turn
it,
up your
Mental?
mic.
That freaked me out in my
was like the
microphone.
SNL.
Yeah.
Sound like the Cookie Monster over
You
there.
are correct,
You
sir.
are
Yes.
correct.
Oh, you are
Good one.
correct,
Yeah,
yes.
all right,
Yeah.
Johnny.
That's right.
Right.
And with that, I feel like I need to, this is a little off topic here, but I need to apologize to our audience for
Yeah.
our absurdly bad impressions of Gilbert Gottfried from a couple of
I was
episodes ago.
not offended by
Mine
that.
was not good.
yours was
and then
all right.
Mentals, oh my God.
I liked
that
Mentals.
was absolutely the most cringe thing
It was cringy,
I've
but
ever
it was.
done.
I
and-
appreciated
and
it.
I have done a lot of cringy stuff.
You were embarrassed by
um,
that?
I was listening
Well,
to it.
apology
later, going,
accepted
my
on behalf of our
God, Why would
listeners.
anyone watch the show?
Since I'm half of them.
Okay, so plenty of things to make fun of us about. So you did the Pcar
Yeah.
talk,
So then,
not to be confused with the used car salesman at Pcar Market.
Or
we'll get to them too.
what's the place that
You've been up to Pcar Market?
But I've been on their show.
You've been on their show.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my
let's go
God!
right
He's
there.
been. Wait!
Huh?
Before you go there, the Facebook page that you pissed off and got us both banned from.
Oh, P Club.
We never
I don't-
followed up with.
I
that.
don't think they have
P Club.
a.
The
I
hell
don't
is
think
P
they have
Club?
a podcast.
No, I
P
know.
Club,
It was a stretch.
Watch
Anyway,
that episode. You'll love it.
Yeah.
Okay, so Pcar.
Well, hold on though.
Market.
You jump in one though. If we're gonna.
Yeah,
be
I
in
don't
order.
care. I want to get
Okay,
to the
cool.
Pcar Market one. We can go back to
come back.
whoever the other one is.
Yeah,
I'm
we
more
were
interested in those used car salesman guys.
we were just on with David and James prior to Checked It Out this year. They were a sponsor.
Pcar Market was
Yeah.
a sponsor.
Oh yeah.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
They will never sponsor Vegas Auto Fest. I can guarantee you that.
Pcar Market
fan.
came through and provided us 2,500 bottles of branded water.
All right, way to
You
go.
know,
Hey,
in
you gotta have
an August
water.
event, you need the water.
you do
Nice.
need water.
So it
Nice.
was a pretty cool activation for him, and Brad, who's a member of their team, came through and and he couldn't have been more complimentary of what we did in the event, and he loved our swag.
I got to hand it to them. I did not think that they would last and be able to compete with Bring a Trailer, and they've been able to pull it off. So
they
props
stay
to
in
them.
the picture. They, we have another podcast called Bid Nerds. I don't know if you've ever seen that one. And I talk ish about them all the time.
Because you sold a car on there, right?
Yeah, I have sold a car on there,
yeah.
but we also see they've just got some of the way they operate, in my opinion, is very sketchy. They do have a couple of specific benefits to, Bring a Trailer. They can get your car to market very quickly, but they have a staff.
If you don't want to wait 6 months, go with Pcar Market, right? That's their thing.
But they're also the guys that go through classified ads. If you advertise, like let's say you put your car on Renlist or something in the forum, they will reach out to you and act like they're a buyer.
Son of a.
In order to try to get you to list your
They
car.
probably have a little cubicle of salespeople that are,
a
I'm
bunch
calling
of
about
sales
your
peeps,
1996.
Super aggressive. They'll let you sit, whatever. Okay. Watch Bid Nerds if you want to know about
if you want to hear the rant.
Pcar Market. I think that the two guys that run the place are nice guys, but I don't like their business practices. All right. So you had a good experience with them, though, on the show. How'd the show go?
Oh, we recorded at 6 a.m. It was like a Zoom call thing, We were basically on there just to promote Checked It Out and talk about the charitable work we do. So,
that's good.
It was a nice, short and sweet conversation.
Kudos on them for having you on.
Yeah.
Back to PcarTalk. They don't do remote. So they can't bring a remote person in. Like our Bid Nerd show, we bring a third nerd in all the time.
Right. And aren't they in Florida? Are they in Miami
they are
or
in
where are
Florida.
they?
They're in like Tampa, St. Pete.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I've been there.
And
long time ago.
my partner, Michael Deeb, is in San Francisco. So him and I do the show remotely. And we bring a third nerd on all the time. In fact, I reached out to PcarTalk, asking them to help promote something. And they're like, oh, yeah, we'd love to have you on, but we don't do remote. So
I was actually surprised
Florida.
we didn't see them this year in Luft.
Were they
LA.
Luft? Were they there?
No, I made the same observation. Yeah, they were MIA.
Oh,
where were you guys? Come on, Mike.
Yeah, what's up?
Come on, Aaron.
All right, so before Pcar Market then, and after PcarTalk, who's
the OG, Mark Green, Cars
Green,
Yeah,
Car Chats,
Cars Yeah,
Cars Yeah.
Cars, yeah.
So
I'm not familiar with that.
Oh, it's good. I mean, if you're
he'll have us on. I've been invited a few times and I keep forgetting to follow up.
You totally should. Funny thing about that is we recorded like in January of 2020, and my episode dropped on St. Patrick's Day 2020 when everything went to hell in a handbasket.
Wow.
So
COVID.
So a handful
City.
of folks probably heard it.
Good time.
They were like, you're not allowed to drive home. You got to stay here, put like 6 masks on.
Because I remember Mark and I were talking before we started recording, like, oh, this COVID
That was
thing,
over the phone, though, too, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because he doesn't do a lot.
Right, yeah, I had a headset on or whatever, yeah.
He's in Seattle, right?
Yeah, Washington for sure. Yeah, somewhere where Griots was, I guess.
Yeah.
What kind of a name is Kern? You're not Irish.
German.
Okay.
I'm Irish
Kern.
on my mother's side.
All right. So, any other podcasts you've done those? Have you done the the king and queen of?
Oh yeah, the
Porsche
Porschelife
podcast?
111.
111.
Never heard of it.
Oh,
the Ryans.
The Ryans, yeah.
In LA.
Oh, you know what? No, I would love to. They're
down.
great. They're great.
Yeah, he's got the full Tonight Show desk.
He
and
literally
Not
has
Tonight Show,
David
Letterman.
He has Letterman's actual desk.
He's
And
had Jay Leno on there.
He had Leno on there.
Yeah.
He's had everybody on there. They're right in the middle of Hollywood. He stole Letterman's microphone.
Hey,
Like literally stole
I probably
the
would too
microphone
if I
that's
was
on
in
his desk.
his.
He
Yeah.
literally stole
That's
it
the
when he was
one.
a teenager
That's the
or something.
microphone.
The microphone.
That's
When
so
they
cool.
switched from NBC to CBS,
Always like stuffed it in his pants,
he
and I was like, "Is that a
snuck
microphone?" He's just happy to
into
see me.
there and stole the damn microphone.
Wow.
And then, no, and then you
Was
can
it
watch the
working
show
or was
and
it a prop?
He admitted, no, it was the real one. Not only did he steal the microphone, but then when they started the new show at the new studio, in the CBS studio, they the whole first week, like 2 weeks, they were complaining that someone stole
Like-
the original
like looking
microphone.
around.
Oh, shit.
They like made a bit out of it.
Where's
Like,
Where's the mic?
yeah, and they were obviously incensed. So that's their whole thing. They've never met a crash that they don't love. So they're kind of like the
Damn, that's cold.
TMZ of Porsche
One
in
time.
LA.
give him a break?
Yeah, if you wreck on the
Reach out.
crest, They're
that was one
gonna put it out there. They'll put the pictures out there. They'll ask you for the pictures, like they just want to see them, and then they'll publish them on their Instagram.
They made a
page.
mistake. Everyone makes mistakes.
That was not a mistake.
You should.
That was
No.
not a mistake.
Well,
that was a deception.
You know what?
That
Bury
was a
the hatchet.
deception on Jay Ryan's.
Reach out to me.
Yeah. The very first episode of Do or Die had the Ryans on.
It was
the episode.
then deleted later.
No,
because-
it's still there. It's on the Fascination site. You can go watch
Is
it
it?
right there. And I was on a couple of their episodes early before he got Letterman's desk. And then when
that one was deleted for sure.
Deeb's car was crashed, and
a RS America.
the RS America.
God. I
on
still
the
cry about
crest.
that car.
We all do, man. Here's to the RS.
Yeah.
The most
Was that
perfect
Luft 4?
Was that Luft 4?
That was
no.
That was
it
almost me.
It
That could have been the
was-
RS America.
I don't think it was Luft. I think it was
Mm-mm.
Toy and Lit Show.
Lit Show Weekend.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Did you ever come out for that?
You know what? I'm gonna try to make it this year.
All right. If you want to, just back to the Ryans, if you ever want to be on their show, don't say that you're friends
With JP.
with
in
with
fact,
Porsche.
just
Gay.
a general rule,
I'm Porsche.
like
Gay.
don't ever say that you're friends with
Yeah,
JP
you
because
drop
you never
Rick's
know.
name.
No, we're friendly like
I
on
got my
Facebook and stuff.
Yeezys.
we kid.
Who else has a Porsche podcast out there? I think that's all of them, right?
Well, I listened to
covered the
one, and
gamut.
I wish I could tell you guys the name. The one guy's English, and they were actually I checked it out. They did a pretty good job. One guy, or actually not. Yeah, I think one guy's from the UK, but he lives in the States, and his partner's in Australia. It was a pretty interesting show, and he gave about 15 minutes about his checked out experience.
Nice.
But I could not tell you the name of the show. Sorry, guys.
Send us a link. We'll put it in the description below. We'll put links to all these podcasts in the description below. Man, Adam, you moved your flight to come and hang out
I
with
know.
us.
Totally awesome,
Are you
dude.
regretting that decision at this point? I would.
No, I'm not. But if I get in trouble for what's been said on this show, maybe I might.
I think you might. It's going to happen.
We'll censor it. We'll
Just
cut
Not
it
my
out.
fault, guys.
Just blame it on me.
We-
I
we
take full
coerced him into it.
responsibility. He is just a guest on this show.
Blame Porsche.
Yeah.
The
Blame
views
Porsche.
of the hosts are not the views of the guest.
See?
That is correct.
And the
That is
guest
correct.
has no Luft reject shirt either.
Oh, see, that's the most backhanded ask I've ever seen.
It's very it's a
No,
I
sought
think I
after
might have
item.
an extra large one.
No,
for you. I'll
hey.
go ahead and get it. I know what you're asking there. I know you're trying to like go, oh, I'm not into that.
We know
but I
where-
will get
I
you
was
the
a
shirt.
Luft reject this year, though. I did apply.
You were a reject?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Did you see my car in the show?
Solidarity.
I wish I did. I feel bad for you, man.
Thank you. I just wanted that was a sympathy poll. right
Find
there.
out what happened to Duane
on
at
previous episode.
Luft 8 on,
Yeah.
well, about 2 or 3 episodes. There's a couple episodes that we talked about that.
Should we
Mental
wrap this
Ward.
one?
Yeah, let's wrap this
Okay,
up.
let's
Mental
wrap this
Ward
one.
on Everyone Racers.
Yep.
Check out his podcast. Please check out Checked It Out Chicago.
Yeah, checked it out. Chicago on OIG, Low End Garage Chicago.
Mhm.
I have Chicago in my names of all the shit, I guess. So,
All the things.
Adam M. Kern, if you really want to peek into my private life, too.
Oh.
He puts pictures of his shoes. Send us those shoes for Jake. We're going to send a pallet full of shoes to Jake. Dwayne, anything else you want to plug before we get out
Nope.
of here?
Let's get out of here.
All right.
Let's-
Also, watch Bid Nerds
Yeah.
and the Romi Show and the latest films on Fascination.
Yep.
Thanks so much for watching, guys. Hit the like,
Cheers.
subscribe, notification button, and we will see you next week.
Yep.
Or actually, we do this more often.
Twice
than
a
just-
week.
It's like a couple times
If
a
this
week.
is Tuesday, we'll see you on Friday. If this is Friday, we'll see you on Tuesday.
Sometimes Thursday.
Okay.
Every now and then Wednesday.
Yeah.
Will you please end the show?